Welcome, friends. It's Kaylee Bird, and I just challenged myself to do a 30-day figure drawing challenge, and I did pretty well. Not too bad. I can't wait to share my results with you and hopefully give you a little inspiration to attempt your own 30-day art challenge. I think it was really good for me. So if you learned something today, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ding the notification bell, and come back every single week for all the best fine art tutorials and art biz advice. I decided to challenge myself to do 30 days of figure drawing pretty much on a whim. Like, I started April 1st and March 31st, I had not planned on it. So it was very much on a whim. But the reason why I decided to do it was because I used to go to weekly figure drawing sessions and I love them from live models and I miss them so much. Moving away from Hawaii and then, of course, COVID and all this stuff, I just have not been able to get around live models very much in the whole last year. So I decided, even if I have to use online internet sources, I'm just going to go ahead and go for it and get back into the practice, because I used to do multiple figure drawings every week and now I feel like I've only done a couple in the last year. I'm sure you heard the term, if you don't use it, you lose it. And it's true. If you do not keep up with any kind of artistic or whatever kind of practice, then you do tend to get a little rusty. And I was definitely feeling a little rusty in my figure drawing. So I decided to jump on it. So I was pretty good this month. Out of the 30 days, I really only missed 2 days of drawing. And then a few other days, I kind of did some painting instead. And then there were 2 days, like this day 4 coming up, that I absolutely hated how they came out. So those ones I'm not really going to focus on because, yeah, I did it, but I just don't like it. You know, not every drawing is a winner. And even though I had a couple of off days, I will say definitely by the end of the month, I felt more fluent and fluid than I had in about a year doing figure drawings. Like, literally, it just felt so good to get back in the practice. And I gave myself a little bit of leeway because there were a few days where I worked on a painting that I had previously started but really needed to finish. And then when I went to the Picasso exhibit, both by myself and with my mom, I wound up doing some drawings there that I considered my figure drawings. So, I kind of was a little bit loosey-goosey. I wasn't too strict and stringent, and I think that that's how I was honestly able to keep up with this challenge, was because I gave myself a little bit of leeway. Like, for example, on day 9 and 10, I had already done her face previously, but I hadn't yet done her body or done her arms and legs. And then on another day, I actually wind up doing all the gold leafing and stuff. So, like I said, I was a little bit loosey-goosey, but I really recommend that if you want to attempt a challenge, especially if there's some challenge out there, maybe with like new materials like Inktober, or if there's a challenge that, maybe has a prompt for every day, even if it's something that you don't think you're going to be that good at, or if you're like, well, as long as I do, 90% of it, or like, if there's a prompt that you don't really like, maybe you make up your own prompt one day kind of thing, like, I think I would have enjoyed it less if I was really militant and was like, no, I must do one 30-minute figure drawing every single day, blah, 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 but instead I just had this idea, like, let's figure draw every day. And then it was like, ooh, we can figure paint today, or ooh, we can figure draw from Picasso. So this is my roundabout way of saying that if you've been a little intimidated about attempting some kind of art challenge in the past, don't worry, you are not alone, because I actually have been too, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to spend all this time making art that I don't like, or straight up don't have time for it, I've got other things going on or whatnot, or like, I worry that I'm going to get halfway through and then get demotivated and then not finish, blah, blah. Anyways, I feel like that happens to a lot of people. I actually did a poll on my Instagram, which is not terribly uncommon for me to like ask a question or kind of do a poll when I'm working out video ideas. So if you'd ever like to get in on some opinions and let me know what you think, you should definitely be following me on Instagram, because I love to hear what you think about upcoming video ideas. I did ask folks if anyone had attempted any 30-day challenges or anything, and I really didn't get a lot of response. I got most people saying like, oh no, haven't yet, or oh, I've been meaning to, or oh, it looks too intimidating, that kind of thing. And honestly, I think that because you feel like you have to do this super stringent thing every single day, it intimidates people away from it. So like I was saying, if you just kind of, have a good idea, but if you miss a day or whatnot, then, it's no big deal. Honestly, I missed one day because my bicycle got stolen. Like, somebody literally had to, like, Spider-Man their way up onto my private back deck and, like, get my bike and send it over the top of the rail. I don't know, whatever. I digress. Anyways, it was kind of traumatic to think about somebody like climbing up and being in my personal space and stealing stuff from me in the middle of the day too. This happened like in the middle of the day. So that day I was like, yeah, I'm not in the mood of figure drawing. Like I needed to take a walk and call my mom, basically, and that's what I did to kind of like deal with that feeling. Basically, I allowed myself to deal with life as it came during the course of this challenge, which is exactly what happened with this next drawing. I'm actually going to do a longer video of this one in detail next week or the week after. I want to discuss a few things, but in a nutshell, I saw this photo of Dante Wright's grandmother on the same day I heard about Derek Chauvin being convicted, and all kinds of emotions came up. So keep an eye out next week or the week after, because I've got some kind of important information I'd like to share with you. If you are finding yourself needing some inspiration or some good copyright free reference photos or whatnot, there's some excellent figure drawing resource websites, as well as just some good copyright free resource websites. So check out this video here on the screen after this one is done for some good copyright free resources, and then I will also link some figure drawing websites for you down in the bottom. But please be aware these figure drawing websites do feature nude models, so you will need to be 18 or older to access them, but they are really a super invaluable resource, and whenever I'm not able to find models in person, I am very appreciative of having these websites available, and I definitely do donate to them from time to time. If you'd kind of like to do your own art challenge, but you're not really sure where to start and you don't necessarily want to do some random challenge with different prompts, think about doing a challenge in something that you normally work on. Like for me, I do a lot of figure drawing, so that was kind of a good challenge for me. So maybe if you enjoy doing flowers, do 30 days of flowers or 30 days of some other kind of plant life, or if you like doing landscapes, 30 days of landscapes, something like that. And they don't feel like they have to be finished works of art. That can be too much of a challenge. This one was actually prepped for a painting that you're looking at right here. This is a painting I'm going to have going on, but this took a couple hours to do this figure drawing, so I counted it, of course. So if you think about it like that, like use it to be useful for you and your practice. 30 days of hand drawing, 30 days of faces. You could do, if you have a new material you want to do, you could just do, 30 days of gouache painting. Doesn't matter what it is, but as long as you get your paints out for 30 days in a row, that's a good little challenge. So there's all kinds of great ways that you can use this 30-day mindset to sort of jumpstart something you've been meaning to try, or really sink your teeth back into something that you traditionally do but kind of are out of practice of or want to get better at. 30 days, it's enough to really give you a good amount of practice, but it's not too much that it's unrealistic. I mean, part of me was like, oh, maybe I could go for 60 days, maybe I could go for 90 days, but the other part of me is like, no, by like 28, 29, and 30, here's my last couple of days, I'm kind of ready to move on to these paintings. I've got another painting I've been prepping. I've got some more resining to do. So, it really has, though, it helped me get my creative juices flowing. And now that, COVID things are kind of starting to come to an end, I'm in a new town. I'm hoping to find some new figure drawing sessions. This has made me feel good again and not so rusty, and I'm going to be ready to go out and do a little drawing, in public sessions or whatever, not necessarily for an audience, but at least I will feel good about going out and figure drawing, and I won't feel so rusty. So I really hope that you guys are feeling inspired to try a challenge. Why don't you drop me a comment and let me know maybe a challenge that you think might be a fun idea, or something that you think you might want to try, or something that you want to get better at that you think maybe doing a 30-day challenge will help you. And let me know also too if you would like me to do like some kind of guided art challenge. Maybe that would be fun. Would anybody, yeah, let me know. Would anybody here follow like a guided art challenge? I won't do something super difficult. I mean, I know figure drawings and stuff can be a little bit difficult, but if I did more of like a simple, maybe 30 days to like of practice, different things you can practice to kind of be a better artist by the end, let me know. Would you like me to coordinate some kind of 30-day challenge? Because, if people would actually be interested and would actually take part in it, I would really love to coordinate something like that. I'm always all about building a little bit of community for us, guys. And speaking of building a little community, you know that I do figure drawings while I answer your personal questions, right? Well, click this playlist right here. Jump on over to check out my Ask an Artist series, where I take your questions right from my YouTube comments here and answer them and I even shout out the person who submitted the best question. So definitely feel free to drop me a question you've been dying to ask. Make sure you're subscribed, ding the bell, and come back every single week for all the best fine art tutorials and art biz advice.